Those days. I remember those days.
Hello, vinyl community, and welcome to another musical adventure. And today's adventure is something that I'm not really fond of doing, and so I'm not going to tarry too long on it. But it's a little bit of a rant. So for those of you who love rants, then this is a video for you. And I know this rant is not going to do any good. This is really more or less just me getting my thoughts out there for the whole world to know. Because I think that people care about my thoughts. But this is an opportunity to engage a little bit, and that's really what this is more or less about. And so if you have a thought about this, comment down below. It really kind of doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, these things are going to happen. But what I want to talk about a little bit is box sets, and a little bit of something that I'm experiencing that I'm calling, for lack of a better description, than box set fatigue. It was just announced that the Pink Floyd 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon is coming out, and it's coming out with this deluxe and probably really expensive box set. And there's nothing wrong with that for fans that love that and just, you know, want to immerse themselves in that kind of thing. I don't fault it. I mean, no one is making me buy these elaborate box sets. No one is saying, hey, you have to have them. The problem is what I'm kind of getting into with this video is sort of my own personal, like, in between ground maybe with this. Someone was telling me, and I don't know, but that the Pink Floyd box set is going to feature a remixed version of Dark Side of the Moon, and the only way to get the remixed version is through the box set. Like, it's not going to be just individual. And here's the thing, like, when it comes to an album like that, chances are, I mean, I would listen to the outtakes probably once, and then when I want to listen to Dark Side of the Moon, I'm just going to listen to Dark Side of the Moon. And so that's sort of where my problem is coming in with box set fatigue. And you know, while Take 19 of Money might be of interest for hardcore fans, I don't know that it's going to really add anything to the story for people outside of that. Now, I know some of this, and before you all start screaming at me, well, it's all about the copyrights. I get that too. I mean, it's an album that's turning 50, and people have to find new and creative ways to sort of renew the copyright or update it. And that's fine too. Again, it's just about the availability of these things. And what I want to talk about in this video in particular are the Beatles box sets. We've had one roughly every year since 2017. And they're very nice. And as a Beatles fan, I absolutely love these things. Well, it was announced, you know, back in 2017, we were going to finally get a deluxe edition of Sgt. Pepper. This is it. I did get a copy of it, and very glad to have it. It was very cool. It has 4 audio CDs in it, a remixed version of the album by Giles Martin, a great hardcover book discussing everything from the history of the album all the way through, you know, the cover photo and just all the ins and outs, the sessionography. There's a Blu-ray DVD included in this. Pretty much everything you could want Pepper is included in this set. Really, really great set. And I was really happy to get it because I love Sgt. Pepper. It's a cool set. Glad to have it. Now, for the vinyl enthusiast, which I am, first and foremost, they came out with a couple of different versions of the remixed album. You had a single disc version, which was pretty cool. If you just want Pepper and you don't care about the outtakes, there you go. You've got the album. They also came out with this one, which is a 2-disc version, or 2-record set. It had the original remixed album. I say original album, the remixed album, as well as sort of an alternate version of the album. They took sort of the best of the outtakes and presented Pepper as an alternate version, which is pretty cool. And nice little liner notes. They did the same thing with the CD. They did a single CD, a double CD. I believe there was a picture disc that came out. But they really kind of gave it options. But The only way to get all of the outtakes was in this big massive box. That was it. This is where you get everything, was in this CD box set. They didn't do all of this on vinyl. The only deluxe vinyl set they did was on the 2-record set. So 2018 rolls around, and as expected, it was announced the White Album, the 50th anniversary of the White Album. Really cool. Now, the White Album, just by its very nature, because it's a double set, we knew this one was going to be a little bit different. And so what they did, the vinyl version, you could buy the original White Album, the 2-record set, as it were, or you could get this set, which was the White Album, the double album, and the Esher demos. So sort of like a bonus, almost like the Pepper, but it's a 4-record set instead of a 2-record set. And like I said, understandably so, because of just the nature of what it is. But, you know, for the fan that wanted and then some, they had this option. Like I said, and then you had, for the casual fan that just wants the White Album, you could buy it. And there you go. The CD was the same presentation. And they released the box, the CD box, which was a 6 CD set, I believe, along with the Blu-ray audio. Very cool, very nice, big, huge book. It was housed in. Very, 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 very nice set. And I don't know if you can read those titles. You probably can't. But this was the only way to get all of the outtakes. It has the White Album. 2 discs of it is the White Album. Disc 3 is the Esher demos. Disc 4, Sessions. Disc 5, Sessions. Disc 6. So 3 discs of Sessions. And then the Blu-ray with the upgraded audio, the 5.1 mixes and all that. Very cool. Very expansive. Again, we knew that the White Album, just by the nature of what it is, because it's the White Album and huge, that it was going to be big. I get it. So 2019 saw the 50th anniversary of Abbey Road. Abbey Road, and they came out with a 3-record version, remixed the album, and then they had a couple of records of sessions that came out. And so there you have it, 3 records. Very cool. But this time, and probably just because of the amount of material, the CD set came out. And the CD set was pretty much identical to the vinyl set. And again, probably just because there wasn't as many outtakes from Abbey Road, so they couldn't do like a 5 or 6 disc version. The CD set does have the Blu-ray audio in it, but it also has the book, the big, huge, nice book. And so to get all of the stuff, you had to get the CD. And the vinyl version was just sort of a sort of, I won't say pared down. I mean, musically it wasn't pared down. It was exactly the same as far as content was concerned. But yeah, the big book and everything wasn't the same. But the sets were pretty identical. And so last year, 2019, saw the announcement of the Get Back and Let It Be stuff. We got the movie, and of course we got the remixed, reimagined, if you will, Let It Be set. This is the CD set. It is a 5-disc set, along with the Blu-ray audio, a nice book, the whole 9 yards. It all came with it. And so you could get Let It Be. Got it upside down there. And there you go. Now, this is where things sort of diverge. Because they didn't do like a deluxe LP version. It would have been nice to maybe do a single remixed version of the album. It would have been nice to do the remixed album and a copy of maybe the Glenn Johns mix, which would have been cool, which is included in the CD set. But you got either the single record with the album remixed, and that's it. There was a picture disc, but if you were going to get the full thing, it had to be on vinyl. And I just didn't see the need to rebuy the set on vinyl. So up to that point, it was, you could get the deluxe CD set, or you could get like a deluxe record set, and they kind of were different, with the exception of the Abbey Road thing. But Let It Be came, and it was like, you either got the album, or you got all or the single. That was it. That was your 2 options. And I don't have it, but they did the same thing with the recently released Revolver set that came out. The vinyl version and the CD version were pretty much identical. I will get the CD version, and I'll probably get the single album version just to have the remix on vinyl because I'm nutty that way. But, you know, I'm going to get the CD version because I just don't need disc 5 of a 5-record set that's taking up space on the shelf that is, you know, the alternate take of Got to Get You Into My Life. And that's the choice that we make. I mean, it's nice to have choices. I guess my complaint or my rant is, why did they not do like they did with Pepper and kind of follow the example and have like the album and then the bonus disc? So you kind of have the option of, well, I don't want everything, but I want something extra, just something extra, not just the album. Am I just nuts here? Am I being really out of sorts by even complaining about this? Like, oh, they're releasing all this stuff on vinyl. But I guess the thing is that there's people that are more prone to buy vinyl than they are CDs these days. And so they're not buying the CD box set. So why not put it out on vinyl? And then here's the thing. The vinyl sets are incredibly expensive. I think the Let It Be set and the Revolver set, the vinyl versions run about $200, which is almost twice as much as the CD sets. And so, you know, you expect when these big 5, 6 CD sets come out, you're going to spend about $105 to $130 is usually the case. And I've been fine buying it. I'm still going to be fine buying it because I want the material, but there's just been so many of these box sets that have come out in the last few years of anything and everything. And I know that there's some lurking that are going to be announced this year. They've been in the pipeline. I think COVID has slowed down a little bit of that. I'm looking at a Who's Next box set that there's been rumblings about for quite some time. I know it's going to be terribly expensive. I know it's going to be a big deal when it comes out. The Pink Floyd set was announced. We'll probably be awaiting another Beatles set. I think Rubber Soul is the one that's in the works. And I just feel like every year we're just getting bombarded with box sets, deluxe box sets from all these great bands and artists that we like. And man, I don't know about you, but my pocketbook just can't take it. It's just crazy. It's too much. And so I guess the rant is, where's the compromise? It's like it's for the last couple of years, it's just been all or nothing. Like you either get the single record and nothing wrong with that, because like I said, if I want to listen to Let It Be on vinyl, that's probably what I'm going to grab. But it'd be nice to have the Glenn Johns mix on vinyl. You know, I think we're going to see more of this stuff in the coming years. I think the Rooftop stuff was left off the box set for a reason. So I think you know, there'll be a Rooftop celebration. So they're going to milk that one for what it's worth, because I know there was so much material that was recorded, unlike Abbey Road, where it probably was a lot more scarce, the amount of outtakes that were available, that are available. What do you think, guys? I mean, you know, like I said, it's a little bit of a rant. I'm not totally complaining. Like I said, no one makes us buy this stuff. We can either buy it or we don't. You know, so it's maybe a small rant, not a huge rant. Either way, it's just like I'm kind of tired of box sets, guys. Let's just, you know, especially with Beatles stuff. It's like there's just so many. It just keeps coming. We had the All Things Must Pass, the John Lennon sets that have come out. The John Lennon sets have been very expensive, particularly on vinyl. The George Harrison set that came out. And look, I think it's great to celebrate these albums, you know, but at the same time, it's like, oh, like, you know, we've already bought these things multiple times. Let's take a break for just a moment. What do you think? Comment down below. Hey, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Trying to grow the channel a little bit this year. That's kind of a goal of mine. So if you've been lurking around and you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do it. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that's here. I'm working on having regular content here as before, where I feel like my content has been real sparse and just kind of coming and going. But I'm going to try to have something up pretty regularly. I don't think I can be as prolific as some other folks here in the VC. And, you know, my hat's off to you. But I'm going to get some regular content going here. Thanks for watching my channel. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.